Fran and Fran, how are you doing? All set for you? No? Okay, we'll wait on your signal. You know, we could have you replaced by Mr. Belbin.
Jim. Just a good thing the camera, that we're not on air. Bad boy.
I don't think you were on yet.
Well, don't guess. Don't take a chance.
He's a little devil, we know that.
All said? Okay. We're opening the meeting of the Carver Conservation Commission for November 20th. The first order of business is to read minutes for November 6, 2013. I'm pleased with the minutes.
Oh, don't, yes, it's in the packet. You have one too.
Okay.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes unless somebody feels otherwise?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 6th as read.
And a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented for the meeting of November 6, 2013. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimously. Okay, then we have a couple items of business here. One is the farm plan for Mr. Dom Fernandez. Proposed sediment removal of up to 10,000 square feet in an irrigation storage reservoir. And this is an exempt activity under 210 CMR.
I'm sorry, that should read 310 CMR.
310
That was a
CMR,
typo.
okay. What's 210 CMR deal with?
I have no idea. This was a typo. It was late in the day.
Runways and subterranean passages.
And Mr. Fernandez is here if he
Yes,
might want to say something.
So, Dom, would you please come up and just, I don't know if we really have to know too much about it, but Sarah probably has. For the commissioners, there's items in your packet, I think. Mine has one. Maybe at the back. Peggy, did everybody get the,
It's on the last page.
yeah,
I
okay.
have extras if we need it.
In your packet, maybe.
There it is.
Oh, got it.
Okay,
We all set?
Down at the bottom.
right.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry, Don, would you like to proceed? It's, even though it's a routine thing, if you want to talk about it.
Don Fernandez, 43 North Main Street. It's basically a fairly, I think, minor project. I'm simply looking to clear out an existing reservoir. It's a shallow reservoir, no expansion. It's an issue that has been getting worse over the years. Kind of came to a head the last 2 years with the dry
Water.
summers and fall that we had, where I was actually having to work with upstream growers and pick late just to have enough water to harvest. So there's some constraints with regards to what I can do, only because it's surrounded by 3 narrow dikes. So there's really only one location where we can get some of the sediment. So best case scenario for me would be to actually push some of the vegetation out and deepen it just on that one side where we can get the sediment. So it's really not a lot of material, but getting that vegetation out, I think, would be very helpful in this case. I have a window because there's an upper reservoir, and I don't want to release the water, so it would allow me to pump that water into the upper reservoir right now because it's still so dry, and there's room in that reservoir for me to hold that water. So the timing is, I'm hoping to get something done in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if we get a heavy rain,
Can catch it.
then I'm gonna have to wait till next year. So that's the timetable I'm up against, is trying to take advantage of the really dry conditions we have and be able to hold that water, so I don't have to let it go. It's a situation where there's a good flow of water that goes through there most of the year, through the spring and early summer, and then it dries out. So if I can create more capacity, I'm hoping that'll solve the problem, and that we don't continue to have these extremely dry summers and falls.
Yeah.
So that's essentially it. It's really not a big project. It may be that if we can't get in and actually push it, because it has to go to one side, that we'll simply have to just dredge around the outside, whatever we can get in the trucks on a small dike, and that would be the extent of it. But if it's hard enough and I can dry it out, and we can actually push that vegetation, then I would try and get over most of it and try and get that vegetation pushed off, and then we can cast it off of the one side that we can work off of. Essentially it.
And if you all will look at page 3 of the relevant section of the farm plan here, this is exactly what's talked about. Sediment removal on T-141 reservoir will be needed to supply adequate water to the bog system during dry periods, so.
I don't have any questions regarding the project. I know that it will be done well.
So I think he just needs a motion that you guys feel it's
Approved.
exempt. I think it's
Yeah, okay.
exempt myself.
Could we have such a motion, please? To hold that the proposed activity is exempt under 310 CMR.
Okay, so moved.
Okay, and second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve the activity proposed by Don Fernandez for sediment removal up to 10,000 square feet and an irrigation storage reservoir.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yes, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair, you're not really approving it. You're just voting that it's an exempt activity. He
Yeah.
doesn't need to get approval.
Right, okay. Okay, so we're moving that it is, we agree that it's exempt. Yes, okay, even though, and we can approve but we don't have the authority to say no or otherwise. Anyway, all those in favor of voting to hold the proposed plan exempt, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you sign? Did you sign in for it, please?
And
Let's forget about
we can go ahead with the reappointment of Judy Ward or another member for the Conservation Commission's representative on the CPC. Is there anyone else that would like to be appointed otherwise?
Judy.
No, okay, so, anyone else? But no. So in that case, Judy, you're planning, you're willing to serve again?
It's looking good for this year. We're getting more money and we got some great projects coming in, so
Okay,
kind of excited about it.
so let's reappoint Judy for then another term on the, as a Concom's representative. How often does this need to be done?
You know, I forget the number of
Be
years.
3 years.
Is it 3 years?
3 years,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And you are the appointing authority
I think it is.
for the representative from the
I'd have to
Conservation
go in and
Commission.
be sworn in then tomorrow, right?
Sure.
Right.
Mhm.
In order to vote tomorrow night.
Mhm.
So, Russ, would you like to make a motion to reappoint Judy Ward?
I move we appoint Judy Ward or
And-
extend her current term, whatever.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to reappoint Judy Ward as the Concom member, representative on the Community Preservation Committee. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously. And now, just in time, we have our new hearing for 19 Green Street. Mr. Gary Randall.
That's his little one,
It's just so he has a copy.
and this is what?
This was the other conditions, because he didn't have a chance to sign the last, and he told him he held it for him.
Okay.
No,
Oh, okay, so you have another one, right? Yeah, okay.
thank you, Gary. They're very upset.
All right, is there,
I think the legal notice should be in there, Jim.
the legal notice is here, yep. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Mass Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, that a public hearing will be held at 7:15 PM on Wednesday, November 20th, 2013, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall, to hear the request for determination of applicability for Gary S. Randall to install a gravel parking area to the street side of the site of the former King Philip's Hall. Work will be conducted within 100 feet of and/or may be within wetland resource areas and may be in a map priority habitat area on the site. All disturbed areas will be loamed and seeded. Since the project is within 200 feet of the King Philip's Brook, under the Rivers Protection Act, the project must conform to 310 CMR 10.58, Section 5, and other standards of 310 CMR 10.58. A portion of this project is within the 65-foot buffer of a bordering vegetated wetland. This may require a variance from the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The project is located at 19 Green Street, Carver, Mass., map 16-1, lot 2-0. All interested parties are invited to attend. Okay. So, good evening.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Doug Schneider, consulting engineer and land surveyor, here with Mr. Randall on 19 Green Street. Commission's familiar with this project. Subsequent to our last meeting, a month or so ago, Mr. Randall filed an RDA for the building demolition and cleanup of the site to try and clean up the paperwork on this. We've put together a plan of existing conditions that shows the location of the building and the conditions at the time the building had collapsed, and his subsequent removal of the building and cleaning up of the site. He engaged a wetlands botanist to have the adjacent wetland area flagged up and identified. And that's shown on the plan in the blue line. We also survey located the edge of the King Philip Brook that's in the back. And all of the work relative to what Mr. Randall had done is outside of the 200-foot riverfront area, except for a very small portion of the building that actually had collapsed within the 200-foot area. That's been removed. No, other than removing the building from that area, no work within the 200-foot riverfront area. The site has been regraded, silt fence installed along the limits of the work, all within the upland area. The area around the building was loamed and seeded. The area inside the building was gravelled. And we're hoping we can get a negative determination and close the books on this.
There's no dimensions for the actual building footprint there. You didn't put those on the plan for some reason.
If I may, Mr. Chair, they showed dimensions down in the bottom left-hand corner. But the thing that I was actually noticing is it doesn't specify like how long the building was and how wide it was.
Yeah, that just gives the total square footage.
So I scaled it out tonight, and if I'm reading this correctly, you have the building at 48 feet long by 36 wide.
The building itself is 50 by, I think around 33, 34. And we actually when the building had collapsed, and it was in a pile, we were able to uncover to the corners of the foundation and locate them by survey. So I can give you the exact dimensions.
The reason I ask is, if I may, Mr. Chair, is because one of the commissioners and I walked it before it had totally collapsed, sort of while it was in the middle of collapsing, and we measured it at 45 feet long, 9 inches by 32 feet wide, 6 inches. And it wouldn't matter, except that, it would be up to the commission to determine if the wetland line has been flagged correctly. And it probably won't matter anyway, but
Well,
I mean, in the sense that it's not that, if it's not that close to the wetlands, is what I mean, is that's why it wouldn't matter.
right.
No, the building itself is more than 10 feet away from the wetland, the closest wetland flag. And there's actually a very large, very, very large maple
It's 10.
tree in the back corner.
That's true.
Yeah, it looks like that closest corner is about 15 feet from the wetlands line.
A little under 15 feet.
Okay. I'd like, that figure probably should have been on the map, just to know exactly how, the closest point to the wetland.
Well, that's what the commission had asked for.
Yeah.
The stone wall that you see out there in the back of the is in fact the foundation where it was, hasn't moved.
Okay.
Sarah, do you think we should have, on the map of record, we should have a map that shows that dimension, though, from the,
Well, that's one of the things you asked for, so,
Yeah.
yeah, if that's what you want to
So
see
that's-
on the plan.
right,
then-
so that's gonna require a reissue of the map with that corrected.
But we only need 2 copies of the final plan. You don't have to do 5.
Do you see any, I don't see any other problems, aside from the fact that,
No, you would just want to verify the wetland line,
yeah,
but, that would be all.
and the fact that it's all within the 65-foot line, so that before this, the gravel and wrap was put in there, it should have, permission should have been requested of the commission.
Well, I beg to differ, I'm sorry. The point was that this is what you'd asked for prior to what's there now being put in.
Right.
The 65-foot is almost irrelevant, as far as I can tell, because he's not proposing a structure of any kind. So that would have kicked in a notice of intent. He originally had done a notice of intent to do the entire work, but then did the work before the permit was issued. So, but yeah, there's not going to be a variance needed for this
Okay.
because there's no proposed structures.
So, then, we should, we're set to move forward with a issuance of a,
We should do the site walk to
also site walk to follow it up.
determine the wetland line.
Okay.
so.
Double check the wetland
But
lines.
that's just pretty standard.
To verify wetland line. Okay. And do you see anything else in the description?
Sorry?
Is there anything else in the description that requires any other attention from us?
The rock wall is just rock, right?
It's just the old stone foundation.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So, at this point, then, what we'll do is to, a motion to continue the hearing, and we'll set a date for site walk. And then we can, once that's done, we can have a final hearing and hopefully close off everything. So, someone,
A motion?
motion to continue the hearing.
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing for 19 Green Street till
December 4th.
To December 4th.
December 4th, okay.
Second that?
Been moved and seconded to continue the hearing on 19 Green Street to December 4th. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That's passed unanimously. And the agent will set up the date for the site walk, and we'll give you a call. And
Oh, did you guys sign? There's a, oh, good, okay, thank you.
Do you want us to call you for the site walk?
Okay, I'd be glad
Can
to.
to do that? Okay. Oh, we
Yes,
do.
definitely, absolutely.
we have all the
Both.
contact information, cell phone?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, we will call.
Okay, then we're all set on that.
Good too, thank you very much.
This never hurts.
Yeah.
This will be good.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Buzz. Man, it's quiet in here. All right. And now we'll move to continued hearings for 62 Wenham Road, Dean and Claire Bartlett. A notice of intent for a proposed upgrade to an existing septic system. And we did walk that today. and found no problems with it. Measurements were double-checked, so on, so we need a motion probably to close the hearing. And
I'll make a motion to close the hearing for 62 Wenham Road.
I want to point out, Mr. Chair, that there is no one in the audience. That's why you didn't ask if anyone had any comments during the public hearing.
oh, yes, yes, well, yes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the issuance of a,
To close the,
close the hearing, sorry, yeah. Close the hearing for 62 Wenham Road. Then we'll move to action on it. Got it. I'm ready to retire from this job, I think. Okay. Let's see now, so notice of intent. Sarah, what, any words on it?
no, I don't think so. I think it's really very
Clear and
boilerplate. We measured the,
wetland, the distance from the edge of the wetlands to the
Yes.
septic,
yeah, but there were two septic, there
right,
were
there was
two
a,
areas that we measured. I'm
there
just,
was a holding
Those are
tank
my
and then to
words.
the field, right?
yes, the tank was 69 feet and the leaching field was 90 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're all set.
90.
So,
What's the matter? Russ?
what do we issue now?
I mean,
Those-
I would just say some boilerplate conditions unless,
Okay.
a couple of you were out there today, unless there's something that you think.
No, no problem at all.
Okay.
No problem at all. So, okay, so we'll move to issue a order of conditions as listed by the agent and close the hearing first. Sorry. Did we close the hearing?
Yeah, we did.
Second.
No, we
I'm
didn't.
sorry.
Judy voted to close the hearing, seconded by Russ.
But then we had vote and say aye, and
Oh,
We had a motion and a second to close the hearing, but we never voted,
But you
right?
have to vote.
Okay,
Didn't
I
vote.
really knew that. Just didn't remember to do it.
Okay.
Okay. We'll now take a motion, take a vote on the motion to close the hearing. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Pass unanimously. Okay, now, as far as the settlement of the situation, we'll move to approve the order of conditions as suggested by the agent.
well, you'll need someone to make that motion.
Yeah, so,
Make a motion to approve the order of conditions as recommended by the agent for 62 Wenham Road.
and once more, Russ.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve the order of conditions for 62 Wenham Road. Conditions to be listed by the agent as necessary. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimous. Okay. I have no idea what's wrong with me. It's just not tuned. Okay. So we have,
I was gonna say,
anything
Judy,
more?
want to move to adjourn?
Oh,
My turn.
So Jen moves to adjourn, seconded
No-
by,
No more business, so I'm gonna adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
and second.
Aye, second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, it's passed unanimous.
You're opposed, huh?
I didn't get
it's one of those nights.
So we're quick enough.
Was that a unanimous vote?
That was
did I hear?
unanimous vote,
That was
Kate, yes.
unanimous, right?
Thank you. Just wanna
Everybody
make
needs
sure.
a nap or something.